Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is Dr. Ghufran Babar, endocrinologist in America. Today's video will be on the pathways which have been devised by ECFMG for the math season of 2021 and 2020. Please review this video, like it, share, and subscribe to my channel. As we go through this video, we will discuss about the pathways, which are 5. As you know that step 2 CS, the clinical skills assessment test, is not possible because of the epidemic of pandemic of COVID. To help continue the residency application and residency process, ECFMG, the Education Commission for Foreign Medical Graduates, has devised 5 steps where people can get permanent registration from ECFMG. But if they are not able to get into these residency programs, then this will expire if they are not able to join in the residency programs of 2021 to 2022. As you know that step 2 CS also has English language proficiency assessment. For that, the occupational English test medicine has been introduced. So who are the applicants who will be eligible for ECFMG certification based on these 5 pathways that we will discuss? Number 1 would be those people who do not have a passing performance on step 2 CS, and those who are barred by ECFMG from pursuing certification, but they are not barred by USMLE from taking a step or step component from August 1, 2020 to January 31st of 2021. They have not failed a USMLE step or step component, either step 1, step 2 CK or CS, more than 2 times. So 2 or more than 2 times. So if you have failed any of these steps for 2 or more than 2 times, then you are not eligible for these paths. And they have taken or been registered for any USMLE step or step component since January 1, 2018. So they are active in USMLE registration process. So the pathways, the first pathway is people who are already licensed to practice medicine in their own country, like in Pakistan or India. So they are eligible, and for Pakistani graduates, they get registered, and that is after 1 year of house job that they can apply for registration, full license from Pakistan Medical and Dental Council. And same is likely with Indian graduates as well. So this pathway is likely for Indian and Pakistani graduates. Pathway 2 is already past step C, clinical skills assessment for medical licensure, that those people who have successfully completed this step 2 CS, they can enter through pathway 2. And they will be eligible for. Then the pathway 3 are those people who are from a medical school, which is accredited by agency recognized by World Federation for Medical Schools, WFME. So those are the medical schools, and those medical schools are unfortunately not in India or Pakistan. Pathway 4 is medical school that participates in US federal student loan program. So there are certain schools where US people can go and study and they can still get the loan. Caribbean medical schools are one of those. So they can come through Pathway 4. Pathway 5 is medical school issues degree in combination or jointly with US medical schools. So there are certain medical schools who get their licensing through US as well. So they will be able to participate in Pathway 5. As far as the English language goes, the English language proficiency assessment would be through Occupational English Test Medicine, OET, and a score of 350, which is grade B, will be considered to be a passing score. And this test includes listening, reading, writing, and speaking English. And there are centers all over the world, and hopefully more centers will be created by OET. And the website is www.occupationalenglish.org/L/ECFMG, and you can register for the test. And the test, they will provide you for different materials that you can read. You can look at the YouTube channels and follow those instructions. In this test, there will be different accents will be tested, which will be American, US, Australian accents. So, the easier thing would be to watch movies from English accent countries, from Australia, New Zealand, so that you are able to understand, these accents, and you can follow and answer the questions when you're listening. Your reading is your own, spelling, and then your grammar, how do you read and write. But the problem would be rather listening. So watch movies from these countries so you get used to their different accents, or try to register as soon as possible. So from Pathway 1, and they must apply. The applicants who are eligible for Pathway 1 should apply, and they should have their registration for their home country anytime after January 2051. So they have completed their house job, gotten permanent Pakistan Medical and Dental Council licensing for Pakistani graduates must be completed by 2015, and for Indian graduates also. And which means that they can practice unsupervised. So the word is unsupervised practice. So they had finished their medical school, been observed, during the house job 1 year, which will be subsequently will be given a license that they can practice unsupervised. The date of initial licensure may be prior to January 1, 2015, but the license and registration should and must have been valid on or after January 1, 2015. It doesn't need to be valid currently, but it has to be active on the January 2015 date, and there should be no disciplinary action against them. And an online application for this pathway, or all these pathways, should be available by the end of this month, sometime soon, if not it's already there. And you must complete the submission no later than 31st of August. And once you start the application, it has to be completed within 5 days. Otherwise, you have to resubmit and restart the application. And you must begin the application. You will need to log in to your USMLE or ECFMG ID and ECFMG online services password. You should use it. And after you log in, you need to indicate that which pathway you are following. If it's pathway 1, you select that. And to be eligible, you will be asked some questions, that you should answer, that you have an unsupervised, unrestricted license to practice medicine in your country by January 1, 2015. And if you say yes, you should be good to go. And for each license registration, you will be asked to provide the following: the country in which you are licensed, name of the authority like PMDC for Pakistani, date on which you were initially licensed, whether your license is currently valid, date on which your license expired, if it has expired, whether the license registration has been subject to any disciplinary action. As a demonstration of your license, you will be required to provide appropriate documentation. Preferred method is that you submit your request as soon as possible, and you do not need to wait until you apply to a pathway to submit your request to the authority, like your own medical school. They can submit your unrestricted license to practice like PMDC at license@ecfmg.org. And this email address is just to submit that letter that, okay, this person has the license to practice unsupervised medicine in their home country. And obtain a certificate or letter of good standing / current professional status or equivalent documentation, and upload it with your pathway. The document must have been issued within the 90-day period, within last 3 months. And ECFMG will primary source, they will verify both these documents. If you cannot have these two, you must have either you should provide what we discussed already, or ECFMG will have to verify from the issuing authority that those letters that have been sent to you, they are current. And if they say that, oh, we cannot provide these two letters, say PMDC says that they cannot, then ECFMG will send them a letter for verification that you have restricted license, and they should also say that you are in good standing and you are not barred from practicing, you don't have any disciplinary action taken against you. And if the language in which that license is not English, then it has to be translated, or ECFMG will get translated and will you have to pay for it. And ECFMG will evaluate all the information that you have provided, and once it is verified, then you will be in good shape. The fee for application is $900. So to be eligible for any of these pathways, $900 application fee via Visa, MasterCard, Discovery, or American Express should be used. It is non-refundable, so be very, very, very careful. So read the information before you apply. If you are deemed ineligible to be any of these pathways, then this is a non-refundable fee. You will not get any refunds. So remember this thing. And this will be an important information. That you have to have these things sent to the ECFMG, and ECFMG will verify it. And if the verification doesn't go through, or the agency does not verify it, then you will not be eligible for pathway 1 and you will lose your fee. So that is very, very, very important. Pathway 2 already passed a standardized clinical skills exam for medical licensure. There are certain medical schools like in British General Medical Council, like PLAB, Australian Medical Council, They have this Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, Switzerland, all of them have these standardized clinical skill exam or OSCE type of exams. So pathway 2 is for these countries, and date of examination must be on or after January of 2018, or applicant attends or has graduated from medical school that administers an OSCE exam. So they are also eligible for this pathway number 2. And the same thing, same fee applies for these. If they are they start their application has to be completed in 5 days, and this form, if the licensing authority has to send this form, it has to be sent before January 31st, 2021. The fee is similar, which is $900. Pathways 3, 4, and 5, like as discussed earlier. Pathways 3 is for medical school, which is accredited to agency recognized by World Federation for Medical Education. Pathway 4 is medical schools which participate in US and federal loan program. Pathway 5 is medical schools that issue degrees jointly with US Medical School accredited by Liaison Committee on Medical School Medical Education, LCME. And these people also have the similar fee of $900, and this clinical skills attestation form would be sent to ECFMG by these programs, which must be received by January 31st, 2021, and then they will be able to participate in match. But they can complete their application, apply in the programs that they want to apply, but the clinical skills requirement must be met by January 1st, 2021, and that would be the last date for this submission. And these are the 5 main pathways through which people can participate and get permanent registration. There are some exceptions. If applicants has been registered for medical USMLE exam step or step component since January 1, 2018. That is, they can get an exception. Applicants graduated before January 1, 2018. They can also participate. Will consider, ECFMG will consider exceptions if certain academic or employment pursuit has been obtained, or extraordinary circumstances which are outside the control of applicant are present. So certain academic pursuits, like they have enrolled in PhD program, they are doing active basic or clinical science research, they are currently employed as an advanced clinical care provider. Extraordinary circumstances could be serious medical condition, illness or death in the family, military service, inability to get a visa to travel to US, to take USMLE 2 clinical skill exam. So those are the exceptions that would be considered for this permanent registration by ECFMG, and you have to apply and give evidence of all these things before you will be eligible for these exceptions. And you apply for these exceptions, you have to pay another $300 extra, and that will come out to be $1,200 the fees, because the ECFMG has to use resources to verify all these things. So an online application process will be started soon, for all these people which are eligible for pathway 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. and these are added for the season 2021 and 22 because of the COVID. The step 2 CS is not possible, and the US graduates will not be needing these pathways. Only the IMGs will need it. And English proficiency, even though if you are from an English speaking country like Australia, New Zealand, UK, Ireland, you have to still take this OET exam so that your skills to communicate with people in the real situation should be considered. And this OET test is OET medicine test, because they will consider scenarios where you will be communicating with a patient, and they would understand, if you can understand those circumstantial English, you can speak those words, you can write it as well. So people who have done step 2 CS, they don't have to go through this pathway. Occupational English test medicine is important. If you passed rest of the parts of step 2 CS, failed English part, you cannot combine your OET test score with other components of the step 2 CS. Or if you failed step 2 CS, you cannot use the English part of step 2 CS for this instead of using OET medicine. As far as the OET is concerned, you can take it as many times as you want. Usually the results will be available in 14 business days. You can change the centers as well, and the OET medicine is required to send. Is not required. The scores will not be sent, only that they have passed, which is the minimum score 350 or grade B, and the scores will be needed at the time of your rank order list. If you don't have it by December 31st 2020, you will not be able to participate in NRP's rank order list, which is the deadline is December 31st 2020 for the residency season of 2021. And if you have booked, that is a good thing. If you have booked the date for OET, that is really nice, and you can take the test remotely. Other questions which are asked, so you have to look at the pathways, which pathway you are eligible for, and you have to complete the requirements by December 2020 to participate in rank order list. The ECFMG will get the results from OET, and English test is really important. Unfortunately, if you don't do the English test, you will not be able to participate in rank order list. If you are barred by the ECFMG, you cannot be in any of these pathways. If there is a suspended ECFMG certificate, you cannot be in these pathways, and you cannot be in these pathways if there's a disciplinary action against you. So you should be clear of disciplinary issues, and you have to be carefully see if you are eligible for these pathways to be included for the residency season of 2021. Other things, this certification will expire if you don't get residency by 2022, So people want to know why do they have to take 1 year of or permanent registration in their country, because there's no other way. The ECFMG can assess your clinical skills. So the interviews would be virtual in all programs. So the applicant's profile will be very important. Their personal statement would be very, very, very important. So make sure that you give a good profile about yourself. Make sure that your personal statement is good, and during the interview you must be very presentable, good looking, alert, clean clothes, you have shaven, you have good eye contact with the interviewer, and you communicate in good English. You show good mannerism. If you don't understand anything, you say excuse me. Be very pleasant, have a smiley face during your interview, and they may ask you why are you choosing a specific program, which subspecialty you are applying, and why are you applying. Are you interested in any other subspecialty? They may ask you these questions. So you should have good answer for all these questions. And sometimes they will say, okay, walk me through a case. So make sure you're ready with a case. Please watch my video about residency interview process and how to complete your application. So that has a good detailed kind of knowledge about the interview process. Although that is for in-person interview, but still the attitude, the questions would still be valid. Your clinical knowledge would be tested on those cases in virtual interview. Communication and confidence, you must express confidence. Your personality should be very confident during those interviews, even though they are virtual, but people can assess your personality. Make sure you speak slowly if you have an accent, speak clearly and confidently, and practice these interviews. In the end, you may be asked to summarize the information that you have gained. So try to be forthcoming with a summary. Make sure your visa status. If you have a valid visa status, that will be really, really good. In this season, the travel expenses will be less because the interviews would be virtual, and the questions about US rotations, this US rotations would not be possible because of the COVID. Make sure you can get some tele rotations. Make sure you are getting the hands-on experience in your own country if you are not able to get these tele rotations or rotations in persons. Your home country letters of recommendations would be very important. So make sure that you are prepared with the home letters of recommendation. Make sure they write those letters as very personalized. The Dr. X was a very good resident. He was very responsible. He had special interest in this specialty. He was very disciplined. He was very caring to the patients. He was very nice to the co-workers. So all those things must be part of the letters of recommendations. What extra skills did you do during your house job? You were good in surgery, you were good in suturing, you were good in procedures. Those things should be highlighted. You were good in history taking, differential diagnosis. Those will be important. And this time, while you're waiting, volunteer work in COVID-19 areas would be exceptional. So if you have time, you can prepare for step 3. If you can come over and take the step 3 before the process is completed, that would be really, really nice. If there are online courses, you can do it. COVID-19 courses, if you have done them, that's good, because when you come over here, people who have already had experience with COVID-19 patients, that really would reflect good on their profile. If you have time, you can take some medical Spanish. That will be good on your profile, because there are a lot of programs in New York and Chicago, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico. Most of the US population has pockets of Spanish speaking people. So if you have Spanish knowledge or medical Spanish, that would be really, really, really good. In this year, scores will be really important. So your scores will be the most important thing. It will help you to get the residency. Your letters of recommendation, like I said earlier, will be important. And try to develop good skills in your interviews, improve your experience. Hands-on experience would be really, really nice. Doing step 3 would be good. Research is good. If you have publications, that will help you with the match, or hands-on research, basic science research. If you have done hands-on, that would be good. Years since graduation matter, but if you have good scores, that will be covered. Or you have that experience, say you're applying for pediatrics, you have done 3 years of residency in your home country in pediatrics, that will help, even though your years of graduation are more than 5 years. Do not have any gaps in your training. So try to fill up this period. Even though if you're not doing something active, get an active attachment. If you are in US clinic experience, letter of recommendation from there. If you have done any rotations, letter of recommendations from there, they will be good. Rotations are opening up, so look at different websites, Google them, and if there is valid experience available, try to get it to improve your profile. Try to apply in as many programs as you go. For example, in internal medicine, 150 programs is good. You should always try to find out ways to improve your profile, because your profile, your scores, your letters of recommendation, any extra COVID experience, any hands-on experience, no gaps in clinical training, good confidence, good communication skills, good English, a happy face will all contribute towards your residency, getting chances in the residency season for 2021 and 2020. Please share this video, like it, and subscribe to my channel, and so that you get updated videos on USMLE residency. I will make videos on USMLE rotations, the medical rotations, externships, and research experience in future, as well as different lectures, especially in pediatrics, pertaining to USMLE and high yield facts. So please subscribe to this channel. Best of luck for your interview. Best of luck for the interview process for matches in 2021 and 2022. God bless you all. Sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Thank you and Assalamu alaikum.